What's wrong?
Okay, so there's a combine in the in the United States for those who are listening abroad. The football players, they run these fast times and they lift and they do the shuttle run, they do this stuff. And the 40 is the one that gets the most attention because there's a time attached to it. So there was a wide receiver from Baylor, Tyquan Thornton, who ran a time that was very fast. It got people's attention, 4:21. However, it was corrected later on in the day to be a 4:28. If it was 4:21, it would have been the record at the combine. 28
It's a
is
big
still
correction.
fast.
It's a big
Yes. So here's
correction.
my right.
Oh god, I thought it was 421. It's
So
corrected to
here's
428.
yep. So here's obviously he's fast and he ran fast in high school. I don't think he ran his senior. He was really good in the quarter too. Not taking anything away from him. He's great. But 4:28, yeah, just puts him in this big group of people. So once they corrected it, my big takeaway was not his run and how fast it was, but just seeing the reaction of football fans on Twitter when a time got corrected reminded me of track fans. They were just so upset. They're like, "Wait, how do you make that big of a switch? How does he go from 4:21 to 4:28?" And then there were other runners too, or other athletes whose times got rounded way up, and people were just getting upset. They were taking screenshots of him crossing the line and it saying 4:18, and they're like, "Well, look, I paused my computer at 4:18. Why isn't it a 4:18?" And people having to explain that's not actually how it works. So that part of it was entertaining for me. But running a 4:28, yeah, it's fast, but there's been a lot of people have run that.
Yeah, I put out I try to look at this. Whoever Owens Burner, the NFL robbed Calvin Austin III, the greatest 40 time in NFL history.
4:03.
First of all, they're going based off when his foot crosses the line, not even when his shoulder crosses the line. Because like when his chest, look at that, like even this, and it obviously
Yeah.
says unofficial times, but
Well,
it's just funny
pausing
that they're
your
even
computer is the
screenshotting.
ultimate unofficial time.
But they're also pausing it before his chest crosses the 40-yard line. Like they're
Yeah.
pausing it when his foot crosses, so they don't even know how that works. No.
I think back to Coleman. He did the running in football world a service when he senior year or last year at Tennessee, he runs a 4:12 in a football time 40 just to get perspective of how quickly a elite track athlete could run this using the timing system that they do in the NFL. So 4:1, for people who don't know, I mean a 4:12 to a 4:21, which is the NFL mark. I mean, that's a tenth clear. A tenth and a 40 is an eternity. Because you see, Grant Holloway winning these races by tenths of a second, and it's just no contest. And that gives you a better idea. And this was, I mean, Coleman was obviously fast then. I would say he got even faster after that point in his career. But mostly the pausing of the screenshots is what was entertaining to me.
Yeah, I thought it's also. I was like, ooh, Baylor athlete runs 421 in a 40. Let's get him running a 60 against Trayvon. Trayvon's been tweeting at Tyreek Hill, trying to challenge him to a 4x1. So like maybe
Yeah.
get a Baylor on Baylor crime and see if. I mean, obviously
No.
Trayvon would smoke him. It wouldn't even be
Yeah.
close,
4:28.
but
No. Yeah.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch
F
someone get smoked.
even 4:21 he would have had problems. 4:28. Yeah, it's not even a. I mean, once he gets into his running, runs pretty smooth. But so you didn't know when we started the segment, you thought it was a 4:21 still? You didn't see the update?
Yeah, I didn't know about the correction. That just shows how fake news just circulates this world. Is I was still thinking there was a 421 football
Yeah.
player out in this world. You kind of just
Yeah.
broke my whole worldview of reality.
Well, and that's why I said I don't want to be difficult. That's why I started with I don't want to be difficult. Because if he did run 4:21, all right, cool. Let's go with that. But once it got corrected to 4:28, again, not taking any away from him, he's very fast. He's a very, very, very fast athlete. And you look at those track times. It is interesting to see how many people ran the quarter in high school. A lot of these elite sprint guys, like their coach just, I guess the coach just throws them in everything. But there was another recruit I was looking up because someone asked, they were going to Oregon, said, "Oh, this is how elite is this guy?" And he was better in the quarter than he was in the 100. And you'd think, oh, football, they're going to throw those guys in the 1 and the 2, and it's going to be a tough sell getting him in the quarter. But a lot of them have really put down impressive 400-meter time. So yeah, very great runner.
Yeah. He
Um,
ran he won the state meet at Florida in 2017
yeah,
and ran 46.7. as a PR in the 400. So makes sense. And you saw on the screen while you were talking, uh, one Baylor 400-meter hurdler was like, I try to get this kid to do track 4 years, can never make it happen. You know, I guess it's
Yeah.
hard. It's I guess it's a lot more enticing for these kids to have a jersey on with football in their hand with millions of people watching them than to sometimes run in a track meet in heat 12 of the men's 200 in like the middle of a Saturday afternoon that no one is at and everyone is underneath the bleachers trying to get away from the sun. That's like a track meet for you.
Well, when you
It's not
sell
the
it like
same as
that,
Friday Night Lights, you know.
you painted an extremely compelling picture of track and field. I don't know why anybody would choose another sport. That was just an incredible public service announcement from Gordon Mack.
I love track, for the record. I love track. I love track.
I love
It's my
track,
thing.
and if he stayed with track, it looks like he could have been really good. How good, we don't know, and that's the point. People try to make shoe-ins out of all these people, and they say, "Well, man, if he had just stayed, he would have progressed like this." But it's like you pay attention to enough elite track runners, some of them peak early. It doesn't work. And for every awesome person that you beat, I thought about this when you look at the Tyreek Hill situation. It's like, oh yeah, he beat Bromell and he's running with the grass and all this stuff. There's also people he lost to during that time who didn't develop into a superstar as well too. So it's not guaranteed. And this guy, didn't get to the level where Hill was at, obviously. But taking nothing away from him, I just appreciated the time correction going up from 21 to 28 because in track is better than that. We've seen some rounding up or rounding down, but usually what is it? 0.02, 0.01, and it sucks because you want to know the time immediately and you want the reaction. But 0.07, it's been a while since I've seen 0.07 on the track.
It must be fun to like. You just mentioned like people don't think about the people that Tyreek Hill lost to, or just in general. When you look at people who have wins over notable athletes, can just like sit at home on a couch. They're watching, the Super Bowl, and they're seeing like Tyreek Hill run away for a touchdown, and you're like, yeah, just so you know, when I was in high school, I smoked that kid. I was faster than him.
Yeah.
That could have been, it's kind of cool to have like everyone who